Hello, and welcome back to Stone Soup.
The world according to Sci-Fi Geeks.
Still Rhiannon.
Still Sandy. We're going to talk a little bit about Sherlock Holmes.
Yep.
For reasons.
Yes.
Mostly this reason, but we'll get to that.
Yes. Now.
Long ago and far away, a fellow named Arthur Conan Doyle.
Yes, Sir Arthur
Conan Doyle wrote a whole bunch of short stories and four novels about a detective called Sherlock Holmes.
Really? There are only 4 full novels?
Only 4 full novels.
I did not know that.
I've read all of it.
We have it somewhere, we just haven't unpacked it yet.
Yeah. This is my favorite Sherlock Holmes films. Star Jeremy Brett. They are very, very true to the written work. And Brett was
beautifully filmed, beautifully performed.
Magnificent as Holmes.
Yes.
Just
one of the most
tremendous.
believable Holmes we've ever seen.
And these were on PBS's Mystery, and that's where I found them, and so on and so forth.
Oh, goodness.
Now,
When was that
recently,
shown?
ages ago, 20 years ago,
Good 20 years ago, yeah.
Mr. Brett has since passed away, as a matter of fact.
It's
Now,
sad,
recently, there have been some new takes on it.
Yes.
First, Iron Man takes on Sherlock Holmes.
Just Robert Downey Jr.
First, Robert Downey Jr. naked is well worth the price of anything. So
This
go for
movie
it.
is now officially great.
Yes. And he had a pillow in the way so you couldn't see the good stuff. But the rest of the stuff you could see was pretty darn good. And it turned out, now, I didn't think I was going to like this movie because it was obvious from the trailers that this was not this.
No, it had a much stronger action edge than Sherlock Holmes is usually given.
Yeah.
After all, Sherlock is, major intellectual, and in this one, he knows martial arts and is kicking ass. Now, actually, I can believe Sherlock Holmes would learn martial arts.
He did. It's in there. It's in the, he knows some martial arts because every once in a while a fella gets caught up in some fisticuffs, and he likes to not get the hell kicked out of him.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
But
we wound up really liking this movie.
It was very true to the spirit. It was not one of the stories that Arthur Conan Doyle ever wrote. It was a wholly original story, but it was very true to the spirit. It was Sherlock. It was the way.
And one important thing that they did here that I had not seen before is Dr. Watson is an intelligent human being, not a buffoon. Mm-hmm. He's a doctor and a good one.
He cannot be stupid.
He can't be that stupid. And here also.
Yes. A lot of versions of Sherlock Holmes, to make Sherlock seem smarter, the writers get lazy and just make everyone else stupid. That's not the way Doyle wrote it.
Well, that's because Doyle was very smart. He was both Holmes and Watson. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He was a doctor.
Yes.
And an English gentleman, and he could do it both. Mm-hmm. And he could see it from both sides.
Yes. But for some reason, when adapting to the screen, either the writers just weren't good enough, or for some reason they felt that other people being intelligent took away from Sherlock's brilliance. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
One of the reasons that we liked the series Monk was that the people around him were just as smart as he was. They just didn't see things the way he did, which is exactly the same thing that Sherlock Holmes has going. Yes. He just sees things a little differently. He can make connections more easily than others. It's not that the others can't make the connections. It's just that he makes them first.
Yeah.
There's a difference here.
And a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. One thing with Holmes is he sees everything.
Yes, literally.
No, he doesn't just see it. How did he put it in here? You see
he
it.
He observes it.
But okay, you see it, but you don't observe it. You don't know what it means. He knows what it means.
Yes.
And it drives him out of his mind because he can't ignore anything.
He can't turn it off.
He can't turn it off.
They made a point that in the movie that now and then we go into Holmes's POV and he's just picking up every little nuance of everything around him, which is why he avoids crowds most of the time.
Now, Conan Doyle wrote that Holmes used cocaine? A 7% solution of cocaine. Yeah. I don't know why that matters, except he was a doctor and maybe he knew that was enough to keep,
to numb you without
he literally does it to numb his brain so he can get some rest.
Mm-hmm. To just shut his
it's
brain
like,
off.
Shut up, brain. Mm-hmm. I know the feeling. Women know this feeling well. Our brains won't shut up.
But basically, he numbs himself up so he can have some, as you said, some rest. Just basically tune things out for a while to drop himself down to normal people level.
Yeah. Now, both of these are set at the turn of the last century.
Which is when the books were in.
Yeah. late 1800s into the early 1900s. Now, about, I guess, 5 or 6 years ago, a couple of fellas in England, movie producers, got to talking. And they thought, somebody ought to try to update Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
And so they talked about it. These
talked
gentlemen
about
were
it
known
about
as
it.
Stephen Moffat and what was the other fellow's name? What?
Mark Gradis.
Okay, thank you. Mark Gradis. We have backstage folks to help us with these things.
Yes. Anyway.
And this is what they came up with.
Now, Stephen Moffat, y'all may recognize that name from Doctor Who.
He is a brilliant, brilliant man.
Yes.
Now, the thing with this is, I wouldn't have thought that you could update Holmes easily.
No, I would have thought that, given the advances of science, the way he deduces things would, how to put this, not exactly be necessary anymore. Because, we've all seen CSI. So
Yeah, we
even
know
if
how-
you can pick it out
Matter
that
of fact,
way.
if you have read Holmes, if you've seen these, Arthur Conan Doyle kind of pioneered forensic science.
Kind of.
He was one of the people to say, you know what? There's more here. There's more evidence here than we're thinking there is. We need to look at everything, all the way down to fibers.
Yes. Because you just never know what might
Anyway,
work.
this is amazing.
Yes.
Because I wouldn't have thought it could be done, and
They did it.
they did it.
And
Holmes is
it's
everything
really
he
good.
always was.
Yes.
Watson is everything he and
He has a bit more
brilliant.
of a sarcastic edge than I typically think of him having.
yeah.
But hey,
So far, my favorite line is somebody called him a psychopath, and he says, "I am not a psychopath. I am a highly functioning sociopath. Do your research."
yes.
Okay.
All kinds of things like that.
Also, again, Watson is an intelligent human being.
Yes. He picks up on things that Sherlock misses because Sherlock is focusing on one thing, and, Watson is just like, what about that?
Yeah.
Sometimes you get so involved in the minutia, you miss the big thing.
Yeah, Holmes kind of reminds me of my son. But anyway,
the thing is, in the original stories, Sherlock Holmes meets Dr. Watson after Dr. Watson comes back from war in Afghanistan. So that wasn't too hard to update, was it? The more
No.
things change, etc.
yeah. And the actors are just amazing.
yes,
They are wonderful actors, perfect for the roles,
Yes.
and with tremendous chemistry.
Oh, yes.
Holmes and Watson.
There are 3 90-minute episodes
So it's
in
here.
this new series.
Apparently, this was the first season, and that's as many as they did. But there is going to be a second
Weird
season,
seasons.
and we just can't hardly wait for them. We watched this yesterday, all of it. We just sat down and had
One
ourselves
go.
a whole Holmes-a-thon, and we are impressed,
And,
and we can't wait for the next season to come out. I
Yeah,
guess it starts
we also-
any minute now. We're probably going to have to download them or something. Or wait, yeah, we'll wait by the
Yeah,
ways.
yeah, we'll be
wait
good, yes.
because we'd never do anything illegal or anything like that. But anyway, we don't do it. Anyway,
We also met Mycroft, which is Sherlock's
Yes,
older,
yes,
smarter
smarter
brother.
brother.
Think about that for a moment, people. It's a little scary.
It's a little scary. And eventually, you meet
Naturally, we have to meet
Moriarty.
Calls himself Jim here. That's fine.
Well, his name's James.
Oh, yes, James Jim.
Yeah.
Now, I will
What do you
say-
suppose you shorten Sherlock to?
Sure? Locke?
Lucky? Shirley? Ooh, no, never mind.
Lockie works better.
Yeah, Sherlock. They call him Sherlock.
Holmesy? I don't know.
Anyway, they call
I
him Sherlock.
will say that their Moriarty, to me, I don't know about you, but it kind of gave me a few vibes of John Sims, the Master from
Oh
Doctor
God,
Who.
yes. I wonder who that actor was too, playing.
Because I'm not
Moriarty.
the only. I didn't
No,
mention
I had-
this before, but
Yeah, I had the same reaction. It was
really,
There's
it's
a
like,
little.
"Nutso."
Yeah, there's a little bit of that Joker nutso.
Yes.
like from the last Batman.
It's a.
But we can
If you've
highly
read the-
recommend this. We really can.
Yes.
It actually does work. I wouldn't have thought that it would. They're having to. I mean, like a study in Scarlet became a study in Pink.
But it works.
But it works.
John Watson is writing a blog instead of writing a journal. But a blog is a journal. It's just
These
one that's
days.
out there for the world to see.
Yeah. Well, actually, you could write a blog and just not post it. But
This is true, too.
he posts it. And,
Yes, and the cops read
and
it.
the cops are reading it. So
So and the cops and Sherlock, they have this wonderful "I don't like you, but I need you" relationship.
Yeah. Because Sherlock tends to be abrupt,
Abrasive,
rude.
nasty,
Yeah.
but not short.
No, he's tall. Nasty, brutish, and short. Yeah. But he really does solve a lot of,
Yes.
He sees into things that they don't quite see. And they make sure they've already done all their forensics work that they need to before they let him,
Yes.
and onto the crime scene because he's going to mess stuff up. He will put
Yeah.
on gloves, but other than that,
He doesn't.
I mean, everybody
do much.
else, including Watson, are all, decked out in the little jumpsuit things.
Little
And he
booties on
won't
their
even
feet.
take off his freaking coat. Somebody needs to kick his skinny little butt. But anyway,
He has a website, The Art
they're
of Deduction.
young. These guys are young.
Yeah, I was noticing that. I mean, maybe it's just because I'm used to Jeremy Brett's. These guys are, what would you say, early 30s?
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Very
so
early
the-
30s.
to me,
I mean,
anyway,
Watson has to be.
Yes,
To be a
'cause-
doctor.
Yes.
And a veteran, because a veteran of Afghanistan, so he's got to be 35 at
Yeah.
his youngest.
Yes.
And Holmes looks like he's maybe late 20s, early 30s. Whoops.
But yeah,
Stand up, boys.
basically, maybe it's just like I said, I'm used to Jeremy Brett's. I'm used to thinking of Holmes as being more toward his 40s.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this guy going, he's great. A little young, though, isn't he? But hey, I've never read the books. I don't actually know what age he's supposed to be.
I don't think they ever said.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
so
I don't think
Ethan,
mentioned. So,
he still has his magnifying glass, but instead of being that big round thing that we're used to, it's this little slider thing he pulls out of his pocket.
It took me the longest time to go, oh, click, yes, of course, the magnifying glass.
Well, I figured it out pretty quick. It was like, what is that? Oh, I see. It's one of those little magnifying glass things.
Yeah.
But, it's one of those things that you pick
Well,
up.
I don't see so good. Sometimes it takes me a while to see what I'm seeing.
This is
It's like, what
true.
is that?
What-
And I squint, and I'm like, what is that? Oh, that's a so-and-so. I'll be darned. But
Nice. Not a thing.
we can highly
But,
recommend it. Actually, we can recommend all of these. Start with
Yes.
this.
Uh-huh.
Start with this. Read the written works. Then start with this. Move to this. Move to this.
Yes.
You will not be disappointed.
Nope.
It will be terrific.
They're all a little different, but they're all Sherlock Holmes.
The characterizations are dead on.
Yes. We can only hope that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle would be pleased.
Yes. Yes. So, and
If
that's all.
you like mysteries,
Yeah, if you like mysteries,
you'll like
and if you like
these.
Sherlock Holmes, you'll like these.
yes.
Thank
So-
you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.